if you're on a personal computer and you want to install the sync tool so that you've got access to your work files through the OneDrive sync tool like this, so it basically feels like they're local, you can access them through File Explorer. Now, by default, a lot of companies install this on company devices and laptops, but it might be that you've got a device at home where you also want to feel like you've got all your work files in this method without going through the browser. It's totally doable. All you need to do is navigate to OneDrive. Make sure you just click on My Files to start with at the top, and then you'll see this sync button here. So just click the sync button. Now the sync button is going to sync what you see below. So if you're in My Files and you're in what we call the root, which is the main area where your files are with the folders, etc., it will sync that. If I start going into a certain folder, like I go into desktop and then I click sync, that's going to sync just the desktop area, which might not be that useful. So think carefully. The default would be just to click on My Files and then press sync. When you press sync, it will pop up like this. It might ask you to install the sync tool if you don't have it installed already, and if not, it will just ask you to log in. So I'm going to log in with my work account. And then here, I would leave the default location as the users section of the C drive, which is absolutely fine. It's then going to pop up with this introduction area. So just keep clicking next. I'll explain these as they become relevant, and you don't necessarily need the mobile app. Now, straight away already, this is done. So if I show you the same thing I showed you a minute ago, which was this, you can now see down the left hand side, I've got my work account synced. Now, when I say synced, I need to explain what that means. So what we've got here on the left hand side is my OneDrive area, and on the right here we've got a link to all of these files, but it's in my File Explorer. Now you might think, well, it doesn't look like all my files. It's because it's currently syncing. I've only just set this up, and down in the bottom right hand corner you can see it's processing nearly 6,000 changes, because a lot of these folders contain lots and lots of files, so it's doing quite a lot of work in the background. But if we just give it a few minutes, now I'm going to skip ahead in this video to show you when it's done. Or I say that, it's nearly done already. You can see this is becoming an exact copy of these files here, and after a short amount of time it will be done, including all the subfolders. You can see it's still syncing documents and it's still syncing apps by this little icon here. So it's syncing all these files for me so that I can navigate to them directly from here instead. So if I wanted to open this example file, I can just double click on it and it will open in Word here for me. So I'm working with my OneDrive files, but I'm working through File Explorer, which is what most people are used to and is what most people prefer. Now, the only other thing to mention briefly are these icons here. Now, I'm going to do a video to show you how to work with these files offline. You know, if you ever say, I don't know, we're traveling and you're on a train or on a plane and you want to do some work. Now, where you've got these clouds, what that means is the files are accessible, but only via the internet. So what's happening effectively is when I double click on a file, it's downloading a copy of that file at the time I click on it, and then it will load up. So it's saving me masses of storage space on my computer by only giving me links. However, sometimes, like I say, you might be in scenarios where you're without internet access and you want certain files to be available to you to use. That's totally doable. I'll do another little video on that. But these icons mean, the blue means it needs the cloud, effectively means it needs the internet, and the tick means it's got a copy of that locally at the moment because I've recently used it. Okay, so you can see these two files here are local, so if I lost internet connection I would still be able to access those two, but all these ones that are clouds I wouldn't. So that's how you can install the sync tool, and it's a little bit of an introduction to it. And I would suggest if you're regularly working with files on a non-company computer, you might find installing the sync tool beneficial.